Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and with a LEGO collection like this, one of the questions I get asked most often is, what are you missing? And the answer is, well, a lot of things. Despite owning over 8,000 LEGO sets, that really only scratches the surface of LEGO's product portfolio. In fact, it's around 40 to 50% of everything that LEGO's put out. And so, for today's top 10 video, I wanted to do a mirror of the video I released at this time yesterday, which was the top 10 rarest items in my collection. These are the top 10 rarest items that are missing from my collection. Just one quick note before we start the countdown, I tried to compile this list based on items that I actually have a chance of maybe owning in the future. There are a lot of really specialized and unique, one-of-a-kind LEGO items out there that honestly, I'm probably not going to own in my lifetime. Stuff like the Bionicle Platinum Evoke, of which only one exists and it's sold for a ridiculous amount of money, or even items like the Wooden Woo from Ninjago. One was used as a movie prop in the LEGO Ninjago movie, and there's basically no chance that's ever going to go on sale. I'm not really counting those on this list because, frankly, I'm never gonna own them. To me, this list is almost like a wish list of sorts, of things that if I really tried hard enough, I probably could obtain today. And I'm about to tell you some stories about my quest to obtain some of these items, and I've actually come very, very close, but still haven't quite gotten the items on this list yet. And lastly, the really cool thing about this video is that it is an ever-evolving list, which means that probably, maybe even a year from today, I'd love to revisit this list and see if I was able to actually check off any of the boxes of the top 10 rarest items I'm looking for, because I feel like maybe there's a chance that, heck, I could put out this video and then tomorrow somebody comes to me with an offer of one of the items on the list for a great price I can't say no to. And speaking of, if you actually own any of the items on this list and you are willing to maybe potentially discuss a sale, please feel free to comment down below as well as message me duck_bricks on Instagram. Pretty responsive to that because I have a social media manager buddy of mine running it. Please do let me know if you are trying to sell any of the items that I have on this list because I absolutely am interested. And you know what? Maybe in a couple days, this entire list may no longer be relevant because if I get really lucky, I might be able to buy these. But so, without further ado, I think it's time we jump right in to number 10. Starting off at number 10, we have set number 4000008. This is the Villy Thompson truck, which was the LEGO Inside Tour exclusive gift from 2013. At the time of this recording, there are literally no copies of it for sale online, although I would estimate the value to be around $2,000 to $4,000 depending on who you're buying it from. This was pretty much only given out during the Inside Tour in 2013 and reflects one of the LEGO System original delivery trucks back in the day when they were delivering around Denmark, Norway, Poland, and so on, which is really cool to see that being replicated as a LEGO build. Honestly, the build seems pretty simple and standard, but what's really special about it are the stickers included in the set, multiple copies of stickers of the original LEGO logo, that is the vintage classic LEGO logo there on the side of the truck, as well as for each of the packages, and the minifigures are really great as well, just standard city figures but really add on to the scene. This is truly one of a kind and is not the kind of set that I can really easily replicate because the decals are absolutely unique and special to the set itself. Now, I am personally considering that maybe I might actually go ahead and buy all the pieces for this model and then purchase instructions online as well as purchase stickers, because I do know that people do sell sticker sheets online for stuff like this. It wouldn't be authentic, but it would be basically as good as it's going to get, especially if I don't see any more pop up for sale. As the years go on, it's becoming more and more unlikely that anyone will actually ever put this up for sale because people like to hold on to these as commemorations from their time at the Inside Tour. And so that's why this is so hard for me to get my hands on. The reason why it's at number 10 is that honestly, I just feel like some of the other items on this list just excite me a little bit more. This list isn't really ranked by rarity, it's more ranked by what I personally am interested in. And there are some items on this list that are less expensive or maybe even less rare than stuff like this, but I just figured I would rank it based on what I personally am interested in. And if you gave me a list of stuff, I would literally buy them in the reverse order if I had unlimited money, because while I do really want this, there are still a lot of things that really interest me even more than the Villy Thompson truck. So now we can move on to number 9. Coming in at number 9, we have another exclusive from 2013, which is a bit of a recurring theme on this list, which I find particularly funny. This is the CW Green Arrow Comic-Con exclusive minifigure from Comic-Con 2013. Of course, this was only given away in San Diego Comic-Con 2013, which had the lowest amount of exclusive minifigures given away at the event, which is why the 2013 ones are some of the rarest to be on this list. Now, Green Arrow himself is selling for around $4,000 to $6,000 US. There are a couple copies currently available on Bricklink at the time of this recording. I see the cheapest one is $7,000, which honestly feels a little bit too high for me. I definitely feel like this should be worth a little bit less than $7,000, so I'm going to be waiting around for a better deal on it, but it is a really cool looking minifigure. It is officially supposed to be the Stephen Amell Green Arrow from the Arrow TV show, which I definitely did grow up on. Despite the varying quality of the Arrowverse, I do still have a lot of nostalgia for the Arrowverse and for the Flash and for Legend of Tomorrow, and this was kind of the one that started it all, even though the outfit seems to be more inspired by some stuff that we got from the comic books. This was supposed to coincide with the Arrow TV show, which is why I really do want this minifigure at some point. Moving on from this one though, we can take a look at our next item on the list, which is another LEGO Inside Tour set, and this is the LEGO Truck Show. Set number 40000022 was the 2016 LEGO Inside Tour gift, which is another LEGO truck, but this one is a little bit more interesting to me than the Villy Thompson truck, mostly because of the stickers. I really love the references to vintage LEGO sets from Explorians to Model Team to Technic and Racers being showcased on the side of the truck show build itself, and while this may have a few less unique stickers than the Villy Thompson truck, I just like the appeal and look and feel of this one a little bit better because it does have that LEGO branding, it does have the bright yellow and red color scheme, and also, much like many of the other Inside Tour items on this list, this is not currently available on Bricklink. There are a couple of copies that are just rebricked from existing pieces, but there are none with the original box with the original stickers, so this is another one that's really hard to get a hold of, and I would value it at around $2,000 to $3,000. Absolutely am on the hunt for this one. If you know anybody who is in the market selling this, please do let me know, because this is absolutely on my wish list, but I'll have to wait and see if someone is actually going to be selling it. Moving on to number 7, we have another incredibly rare LEGO item, but this one is a little bit more special than some of the others, because this is the exclusive 14 karat gold Bionicle Mask of Creation. So how could you get this? Well, there was a Makuta building contest that was hosted back in the launch of Bionicle Generation 2 in 2015, where there specifically was a contest to build a large-scale human wearable Bionicle mask, and whoever built the best one, judged by LEGO designers, would receive a 14 karat gold Bionicle mask, and specifically the Mask of Creation. Now for Bionicle G2, they actually made 14 karat gold items for pretty much all of the major masks. They did it for the Mask of Fire, the Mask of Water, basically all the Toa masks. They even did a solid 14 karat gold Skull Spider mask as well, but the one that interests me the most, I mean obviously I would love to have all of them, but the one that personally interests me the most is this one, which is the Mask of Creation. In my opinion, the Mask of Creation is simply hands down one of the coolest LEGO Bionicle pieces ever made. Even though it is from the ill-fated G2 reboot, I just love the unique look and feel of the mask itself. The design is absolutely stellar and phenomenal, and I would absolutely be thrilled to get my hands on this one day. I do think that that day is probably never going to happen if I'm being realistic. I don't actually know who currently owns it. I believe a LEGO Bionicle fan does own it. I would imagine that maybe they're not interested in selling unless for maybe a very high price, because this literally is a one-of-a-kind LEGO item. This may possibly be one of, if not the rarest item on this list, but the reason why it's only at number 7 is because there are simply other things that personally interest me a lot more. As a point of comparison, the 14 karat gold LEGO Bionicle Kopaka mask, that was the Mask of Ice, has kind of an asking price of $50,000 by Rarest LEGO minifigures on Instagram. I would imagine that this one is worth even more. $50,000 is a lot, and I think that's probably a little bit too much for something like this, but it is really the going asking rate right now if you do want to buy a gold 14 karat Bionicle G2 mask from Rarest LEGO minifigures, so this is absolutely really special. Moving on to number 6, we have another 14 karat gold Bionicle mask, but this one is the Kanohi How. Now, the Kanohi How was one of the original most iconic Bionicle masks ever made, which is a reason why this one is placed a little bit above the Mask of Creation for me. Now, how could you get the 14 karat gold How? Well, there were a couple of ways. There was an online competition, some of them were given to LEGO employees, others were given out at a Toys R Us event in Times Square, New York, at LEGO Bionicle conventions, and there were a couple ways to get them, but this is easily one of the rarest LEGO items ever. Now, there is one copy on sale at Bricklink right now, which is being offered for $48,000 by Bionicle Universe on Bricklink. Only 5 apparently were ever given out, so maybe there are a couple more given out to employees, but this is pretty much one of the rarest Bionicle items, and there's a reason why this is so special and expensive, and definitely this is one of the items that I probably will never own, especially if somebody is trying to sell it right now for $48K. Like, there's no way I'm spending that much on a Bionicle mask unless something very drastic changes in my life, but this is still one of the most special Bionicle pieces ever, which is why it deserves a place on the list. And coming in at number 5, we return to an Inside Tour LEGO set. This is set number 4000034, and this is the LEGO System House, valued at also around $2,000 to $4,000, but again, with pretty much no items currently for sale. This was the LEGO Inside Tour exclusive for 2019, and the reason why this is higher on the list than some of the other ones, despite the build maybe not being the most interesting, was that this actually included the very first instance of a 3D printed element making its way into an official LEGO set. Since then, we've gotten a couple of different ones. We've gotten a pogo stick as a pre-order book exclusive, as well as the LEGO 3D printed wooden duck given away at the LEGO house last year, but so far in 2019, this was the very first item to include it, which was a bit of a drafting board, which was a completely unique specialized sand green element to showcase the drafting process of creating new LEGO elements. Now, not only does the set include that brand new specialized element, which can be seen on the instruction manual itself, New Elementary, which is one of my favorite LEGO blogs, actually did a great review on this, but it also does include a ton of stickers of different countries included for each of the different flags, some great stickers for the original LEGO logo, and this is supposed to represent the original LEGO System House in Denmark, which was basically a building that was located around LEGO headquarters back in the day. Overall, this is a really cool piece of LEGO history. Would absolutely love to own it, especially for that unique LEGO piece included in the set, which actually does move for the drafting board element itself. But overall, again, unless a copy of this appears on Bricklink, it's pretty unlikely I'll be able to get it. Moving onwards, we can take a look at my number 4 pick. At number 4, we have, surprise surprise, another LEGO Inside Tour set, but this one I just like a lot better than some of the other ones. Set number 4000025 was the 2018 LEGO Inside Tour exclusive, and this was the Ferguson Tractor. Also valued around $2,000 to $4,000 for a sealed copy, this incorporated a number of unique elements that still have only appeared in this set, such as a plain unprinted light gray CCBS armor piece, light gray wheel hubs, as well as a number of other light gray pieces that have never appeared in any other set, making it pretty much impossible to recreate this one-to-one, not only to mention the fact that it has a specialized printed Ferguson Tractor piece on the front of the set as well. This is a really unique looking build. It is meant to replicate one of LEGO's original toys back in the day, and I think it's really cool. It's a great homage to one of the most popular original LEGO toys, and it even comes with functional steering. Really do wish that maybe LEGO will consider just putting those pieces in an existing set. They still do make at least the CCBS hub, so if people want to recreate it, they can, but as of right now, this is one of the hardest sets to recreate because it just has some pieces that are in colors that they never released beyond this. One interesting fun fact about the set is that the wheel that they used for the larger wheel actually was a tire that was discontinued in 2010, and because this came out in 2018, LEGO had to make a limited production run just to resurrect the mold for this specific wheel to use it in the set, because the piece had long been discontinued, but it was pretty much the perfect piece for the set, making it a very strange instance of LEGO putting a lot of budget into an Inside Tour set just to resurrect an old mold. But now I think it's time to move on to my top 3 items that are missing from my collection. These are the 3 items that I want the most in my collection, and the funny thing is that I have had the chance to purchase all 3 of these items in the past. Unlike pretty much everything else on this list, I have actually personally been reached out to and had the chance to purchase them, but all of the times that I was given the chance, I either just didn't quite have the funds to justify spending on an item like this, or simply was outbid by somebody else at the last second, and I do have a lot of stories about those, so let's move on to number 3. And at number 3, we have the aforementioned Mask of Ice from Bionicle G2. This is a 14 karat gold mask, which is currently owned by Rarest LEGO Minifigures, who has posted these images on his Instagram. Do go check out his account, which is probably one of the most up-to-date and accurate sources of all the rarest LEGO items out there. But this is a really fantastic piece. I always loved the Toa of Ice growing up, so absolutely the Akaku, or I guess just the Mask of Ice in 2015's Bionicle G2 reboot, was one of the most special ones for me to want to get. Now, a couple of years ago, somebody actually reached out to me and offered this for sale for a really good price as well, but I simply just couldn't justify paying that price. I'm not going to disclose that right now because I'm sure they would want that price to remain private. It was just a price that was offered to me as a LEGO Bionicle fan, and believe me, I really wanted to be able to buy this. But I was in college at the time, I had mouths to feed, and by mouths to feed I mean my own mouth, but really I was kind of just not in a great position to be able to dump an exceedingly high amount of money on something like this, so I had to pass up the offer. Rarest LEGO Minifigures was able to swoop in and get this for his own collection, which absolutely makes sense. He does also own the Mask of Earth, I believe, so definitely makes sense for him to be able to get this one. But yeah, this is just still something, it's kind of something that got away from me because I did have a chance to get this one, pass it up, and now if you want to buy it from Rarest LEGO Minifigures, he is selling it for $50,000 US, which is a lot more than what it was offered to me for, which is why I'm gonna have to pass on that. But oh my goodness, still one of the rarest items that I hope to one day maybe add to my collection. And moving on to number 2. This one is actually something, if I wanted to, I technically could buy today. Unlike many of the other items on this list, this is actually something that if I actually just wanted to spend the money on it, I could buy it. But there's a reason why I haven't done that, and this is the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man minifigure, which was given out during the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con. This depicts the incredibly popular Amazing Spider-Man portrayed by Andrew Garfield, who obviously saw a massive resurgence in popularity thanks to Spider-Man No Way Home, and the reason why I haven't bought this is, well, for starters, the going price is around $15,000. It was around $10,000 a few months ago. Literally last month, I saw a listing for $9,000, and I was this close to getting it. But here's the thing. Just last month, LEGO just put out an Amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in the Spider-Man No Way Home Final Battle set. So I figure that most people who want the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man will be able to get him from that set, and hopefully the value of this will decrease given that LEGO has put out a very similar minifigure just recently. Will that stand to be the case? I do not know, but that is personally what I am banking on. For me, it would really suck to spend even $9,000 on this, which honestly, I don't feel like it's worth that much for maybe next year this time the price to go down to $5,000 or even $4,000 because you can get a very similar Andrew Garfield Spider-Man minifigure in a modern set. For years, this was the only way to get the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man minifigure, so it was sort of understandable that people would go crazy about wanting to actually get this one and pay crazy prices upwards of $10,000 to get. But I'm personally hoping the value will go down because we did just get a very good Andrew Garfield Spider-Man minifigure with dual molded legs this year, and this is just another version of that same exact outfit, which is why, while I still really want this to complete my Marvel collection of minifigures, I am willing to wait a little bit because I figure that the price on this will probably decrease over time, and hopefully I'll be proven right. But with that, we can now move on to our number 1 pick on the list, and if you've seen the thumbnail, you can probably guess what is coming. At number 1, we have the original LEGO Wooden Duck. If you don't know the story behind this, this was one of LEGO's most popular wooden toys back in the 1930s when it first launched. This is a true icon of the company, and given that the channel is called Duck Bricks, this is basically the number 1 item I need to have in my collection, and I am constantly on the hunt for this. If you own this, or if you know anybody who owns this, or if you have any listings available for sale, please let me know because I am very interested. So here's the thing. There are many different versions of the wooden duck. The most iconic one is the one that we saw in the first image with the standard dark green and dark red painting, but there are a couple of different ones. There are ones with different red colored feathers, there are different variations of it, there are even different shapes and sizes of wooden ducks themselves. Here's the thing, I don't really care, I just want to own one of these. Like, yes, I would like to own the most iconic one. That would be really great. If the opportunity arose for me to get literally any one of them, I do not care what the condition is. It could be incredibly beat up, the paint could be flaking, it could be completely demolished, as long as you can still tell it's the wooden duck. I am at the point where I am willing to pay for it, obviously for the right price. And here's the thing, I actually had the chance to get, admittedly, a very beat up, but one of the original, most iconic wooden ducks on a Danish Lego auction site called Laritz literally just a few months ago, and the price wasn't even that high. Because the duck was so beat up, I believe it sold for around $4,000 to $5,000. In fact, I can find the exact listing in my email right now to find exactly how much it was sold for, and very unfortunately, I was so close to actually being able to get this, but I was outbid on literally the last second. There was 1 second left in the auction, I was checking it, I was refreshing the page, I was willing to spend an incredibly high amount of money on it, and I was outbid by 32,000 DKK, which translates to only 4,665 US dollars. I have spent $4,000 on much sillier and more frivolous things. I would have totally spent $4,600 on this. Heck, I would have spent $5,000. I maybe even would have spent $6,000. But literally at the last second, I was outbid. I do know the person who outbid me. It is actually kind of a funny story. We are very friendly on Instagram. I actually bought something from this person for around the same amount of money right around the time they outbid me on this, so if in essence I basically funded somebody being able to outbid me on the item I really wanted. But that is the story behind the Lego wooden duck. It is what it is. So if you are selling one of these, please do let me know, and so far it has remained elusive. The Danish auction site that usually these appear on, Laritz, actually went bankrupt a few weeks ago, so basically, that's out of commission. There are no chances of that ever coming back again, so I don't really know where to even find these. Like, I would really love to be able to find these, I just don't even know where to look, and I would really appreciate, maybe if somebody is selling one or knows where to find one, do let me know, because I am absolutely on the hunt. This is the #1 item I need for my collection, and because I'm Duck Bricks, this I absolutely do need. But with that, we have summed up my list of my top 10 most wanted items for my Lego collection. A lot of people assume I have pretty much everything I want, but that is not the case, and it was really hard paring down this list to just 10 things. I do have a public brick set wanted list for more standard Lego sets, which I have linked in the description below in case people are curious about other regular Lego sets I do want. I tried to focus on some of the rarest items I want, and obviously the ones that I want the most for this listing, but there are so many items out there that I am on the hunt for. So if you're curious, you can check out that link in the description below where my wanted list is public, and I hope you enjoyed this look at some of the wanted items for my Lego collection. Alright, and with that, I have summed up the top 10 items that are missing from my collection. Now, obviously, there's a lot more missing that I do want, and it was really hard trying to pick the top 10 items that I personally really want and also are really rare. So, hopefully you enjoyed this list and gave you a bit of a sneak peek in terms of what I might be looking for buying in the future. This was a really fun video to put together. I did a lot of research on what I really wanted to have in my collection, and hopefully this was an entertaining video for you to enjoy. Thank you all so much for tuning into Duck Bricks, and let me know down in the comments below if you own any of the items on this list, even if you're not selling. Would love to hear your experience with these items, as well as what are your top 10 items missing from your collections. Would absolutely love to hear what folks are hunting for, and maybe I can help out with that. Thanks all so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more Lego news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming away very soon, and bye for now.